So I've previously talked about the work of Anders Ericsson and his study of expert performers in different fields. And so what the researchers found is no matter what field they looked at, the expert performers had more and better mental representations, which is to say in their long-term memory, they had better maps, models, and memories of how to approach different sorts of situations, which made them expert performers in those situations. So a question for you is, how could you accelerate the development of your leaders in large groups at a time such that they could reach expert levels faster? So I can tell you, there's a slow path and a fast path. The slow path is what most people do. You put them into situations and they bumble around, they're in a new role, they're over their head, they make mistakes, they fail, they get some feedback, they learn some lessons. Over time, they'll improve, they'll get better. Slow path. The fast path is you download the mental maps of the elite performers who are just ahead of them on the path, and you relay and download these mental maps for the generation coming through. Here's how you can do that at a high level. So first thing you do is you identify if people are going up to the next level in the organization, say they're going to be SVPs, what are the 8 to 10 greatest challenges they're likely to face at the next level up that they're going to need to overcome to master that level of the organization. Maybe it's leading teams of teams. Maybe it's turning around underperforming business functions. What are the challenges they're going to need to be really good at? Notice we're not talking about competencies here. Okay, the challenges. Then you identify who are your top 10% of leaders, the elite performers who are just ahead on the path. They've already sort of mastered this level of the organization. Then you interview and survey these leaders to work out what are their mental representations, their maps, their models, their heuristics, their decision-making criteria for navigating through these different challenges. And what you'll find is the elite performers often use very similar models to each other to get through these situations. So you download what these are. Then you go to your next level down who's about to step into these new roles, and you say to them, here's the 8 to 10 biggest challenges you're going to face and need to get skilled at this next level. What's one that you're facing at the moment? And so when they nominate, you say, okay, what's your current approach? What's your strategies? What's your decision making? Basically, what are your mental representations for navigating through this? They explain it. Here's my current way of thinking about it, my current approach. Then you say, okay, here's how an expert performer would approach that same situation. And you give them various expert performers. Here's the mental maps they're using. What do you notice? The person can see the delta. Then you ask them, okay, re-strategize now based on what you can see. And what starts to happen is they start to adjust their approach, their mental map, their strategies until it's closer. All right, so far so good. They've got cognitive knowledge of the mental maps. What is the pathway that experts have already taken and succeeded here? That's not enough. Then you get them into what's called deliberate practice. All right, go out now and start applying your new strategy to the actual challenge, and let's see what happens. So they go out, they strain, they struggle, they've got this overload, they're trying this new approach. They get feedback from a coach, feedback from expert performers, but they struggle, they strain, but they make progress, and they start to learn faster and faster, and eventually they start to succeed on this in a short period of time. Then you say to them, okay, what have you learned? What have you reflected on? They start to integrate this new way of doing it, and they say, you know what? I think this works better. I've got it. What's my next challenge? And away they go. This is the faster way to approach accelerated leadership development. Notice, we are not talking about competencies. Yes, these expert performers are good at leading strategically. Yes, they lead change. Yes, they're adaptable. That's an outcome of their mental maps and representations they've got. That's not the input. That's what comes as a result of overcoming these challenges. All the action is happening in here with their representations and criteria and heuristics, which makes them good at those things. You don't focus on those things. That's putting the cart before the horse. Results also follow, but this is where the action is. This is a high-level approach of how you can use the science from expert performance for leadership development. We do a lot of, I would call the art of leadership development with what most of us do in the field. There's a whole field of study on how people get really good at any different domain, and it's a science. It's time we bring more science to add to the art of leadership development.